It's a great day for this. Hello, all. My name is Matt. Recently, the channel that I run, named Matt Colbo, which is kind of my name, hit 100,000 subscribers. And I asked you to ask me some questions, and a lot of you did. We got a lot of questions. So now I'm going to answer a few of them, and I hope you really like it. I actually don't have a question. I just wanted to say that your dog is cute. Thank you. He will be dead in less than 10 years, almost surely. How do you learn the accents you do in your videos? I listen to people who have that accent a lot, and then try to just emulate that as best as possible. I look at their facials, the way they say things. I try to, make my face the same as theirs when they say it. And I also listen to any tutorials about how to say things that way. I try to listen to as many different words as possible. And I also try to pinpoint just like one singular person that has that accent and try to focus on one person. Like in the Scottish video, I was kind of focusing on Lewis Capaldi. And in the Tom Scott one, obviously it was Tom Scott. And yeah, how did you come up with such an elaborate joke on congestive heart failure? I couldn't stop wheezing. It was the first video from your channel that I watched and instantly made me subscribe to you. Well, first, thank you. The congestive heart failure one was something that I'd thought about like 2 weeks prior to filming it. I started writing it just because I kind of worked backwards. I wanted a video where I was like explaining something that was difficult to explain, and I wanted to work backwards from something that causes you to gain weight really fast, but I just looked for medical problems that like cause you to gain weight really fast, and congestive heart failure was one that was suggested to me by my good friend Michael, who is a med student. He actually lent me like his accounts for these like secret med student like forums and shit. I don't even know what it was, like this database of everything, so I could get in there and just like kind of study and look at congestive heart failure. I probably took like a week and a half to write it like by myself, not like just every day, that's all I'm doing for the week and a half, but like on and off for about a week and a half. And then I would send it to my friend Michael and my friend Colin, who both kind of looked it over. Michael just like checked to make sure everything was medically sound, and then Colin and I did some final checks to make sure if we could like tighten it up a little bit or make it funnier. And yeah, that's that. From concept to publish, it took probably 3 weeks. Has Tom Scott spoke to you about the parody video? Has he seen it? I don't know. He has not spoken to me about it. I don't know if he's seen it. Maybe he has and he hates it. Maybe he has and he likes it and just didn't say anything. Maybe he has and likes the video but hates me. Maybe he wants to date me. I don't know. Where is that terrible field located so I can stay as far from it as possible? It is in Massey Drive, Newfoundland and Labrador. You probably won't have to worry about ever getting close to it. What's your job, or are you a student? If so, what are you studying? I was a student when I started, but I graduated last year in April of 2019. I had with a degree in psychology and a minor in business. I didn't pick psychology because I wanted to pursue it. I picked it because I didn't really know what to pick as my major and was doing well in my psychology classes. So I was like, I like this and it's interesting, so I'll do it. And it was interesting and I enjoyed it. But it was never really something I wanted to pursue. As of January of this year, I've been pretty much doing this full-time in conjunction with a little bit of like freelance work for like making ads for local businesses and whatnot. The reason I'm able to do it full-time and support myself is because
this video is brought to you by the Ridge. It's light, sleek, industrial, and it doesn't fold or awkwardly bulge in your back pocket. It holds up to 12 cards and still leaves room for cash. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. I've got forged carbon. Look at it. The lovely folks at Ridge are also so confident you'll like it that they'll give you a 45-day test drive, and if you don't like it, you can return it and get all your money back and put it back in your weird, ugly wallet. I can't keep the girls off me when I've got, or guys. I need a fly swatter to swat them off. Okay, but for real, I actually like this thing a lot. So get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/Colbo. That's ridge.com/Colbo and use code Colbo. The link is in the description. Thank you so much, Ridge, for sponsoring this video. Now back to your questions and me freezing my buns off. The reason I'm able to do it full time and support myself is because I don't support myself. I live with my parents at home. I'm very fortunate to have two very kind and loving parents who let me live with them, who let a 23-year-old tall, really good-looking son live with them, because without it I absolutely wouldn't be able to do this full-time, but I can. So why not take that option? The thought was I would give myself 2 full years of full-time at it to see if it goes anywhere, and the number that I had in my head actually at the end of 2 years was 100,000, and if I had reached that milestone I would keep going. So it's very cool that we're here in like just 9 months. The 2-year rule that I kind of put in place was because things like this take time, and I knew that I was going somewhere with it. I had had a video
blow up and I'd had a 15,000 people, which is a lot of people when you think about it from like an overhead, like a broad standpoint. Like that's a lot of folks. So I thought maybe this could go somewhere. And if I really give it my all, I think that in 2 years I will definitely have improved enough so that my videos will be of good enough quality that a lot more people will hopefully see it and like it. How many subscribers do you think you will have in exactly 1 year? 53,000. I will lose them all because people will find out that I'm actually a 12-year-old girl. How long did it take you to nail the Tom Scott impression? It's funny that I've seen a lot of like that Tom Scott impression was spot on, because I didn't think it was like, and I appreciate it very much, but I didn't think it was spot on. I think it was a lot of the mannerisms that were very much his, and like the deep voice and the accent I think was okay, but that wasn't really your question. Your question was how long did it take? First of all, thank you. But it took probably about a week of like maybe working at it an hour a day, and then the day of, I definitely probably was 2 hours before filming. I was like really trying to get into it, and I also took that time like a screen or a sound recording of his voice so that I would have that on set. It feels weird saying set because it was me and my mom at a field, and my mom was just watching, and I had on a tripod. I had a recording of his voice just so I could hear it, so I would like be able to imitate it as I was filming. So yeah, about a week, probably a cumulative 8 hours of work. And by the way, I don't mean to sound like it sucked, because it was pretty good. If that many people are saying it was a decent impression, it was probably a decent impression. But it was it was fine. How do you feel that most of us know you as the sketch comedian version of Tom Scott? It's a compliment for sure, but I wonder if you don't like having more of your own identity that we don't know yet. It's funny you mention that, because I don't really feel like that as much with the Tom Scott one as I did like for the last year and a half with the comedian who is known for the French cabbie video. I think that's because like, even though a month ago I had 20,000 subscribers, it was like probably like 80% of those people came from one video that got popular very early on in my YouTube career. It was like in January of 2019, which is I'd only been posting for like 7 months, and I had maybe 10 videos on the channel, maybe 15, and they were not at all things that I was like super proud of, or not at all things that I would post now, I mean. So it was really weird to have a video go viral so early. And it's funny that you mentioned Tom, is because Tom Scott has one of my favorite videos ever called Why You Don't Want to Go Viral. Now obviously it works for some people and they carry on and are doing very well. And for me, things are going relatively well right now. But even when I would see people who knew that I made videos like from my hometown who I was friends with but like don't really follow up too much, they'd like, are you still making videos? I know you made that French one, I loved it. And that was like a year ago. I was like, yeah, I'm still making videos. So I don't feel it as much with the Tom Scott one, but I definitely did feel it a lot with the French one. How do you make your character sketches feel so natural when you're playing both of the characters? Thank you, Brockton, first of all. I take a lot of time to write and make sure that the responses are kind of indicative of what that character would maybe say. And my friend Colin helps me a lot with that. Colin is a friend of mine who lives on the other side of the province. We played baseball together growing up, and we're like really good friends, if not the bestest of friends. We once kissed each other. That's a lie, but we did have sex, but that's a lie too. But we love each other very much. That is not a lie. Every video that I make that has a script, I always send to him before I film. And so like he notices things that I don't. It's weird because he's so funny but doesn't have like a creative outlet to express that funniness or that humor online. So I'm glad that he chooses me to also to help with. But it's just not something he really has the time for because he's very much concerned with other things. And actually, I'd really appreciate if you check out his app. He has an app that makes they make automatic meal plans. You should really check it out. I'll give you a link in the description on Android or on iOS. And it would really mean a lot to me if you checked it out because I love him a lot. And he's helped the channel so much, and pretty much everything you've seen from me is probably the result of him helping and making it better. So check it out, please. Hi, Matt. What are some things you're really passionate about? Good question, Rosemary. I don't know. That's a good question. That is a good question because I don't know. I really like playing hockey a lot in the winter, and I like playing baseball a lot in the summer, and I really like. This is like a 5-year-old's answer to. I like spending time with mom and dad. No, I don't know. Yeah, I do though. Those are like some things that are just super chill, and I like that. I like hanging out with friends. I don't know. I'm passionate about making these videos. I spend a lot of time doing it, so I guess that means I'm passionate about it. I don't know. Good question. What a great answer. What is your thoughts about Bo Burnham? Bo Burnham is my favorite stand-up comedian of all time, along with Norm Macdonald. What is the circumference of your head? I guaranteed one of the replies is which one. Yes, it is. I don't know the circumference of my head, but I do know that my hat size is 7 5/8 when I have long hair and 7 1/2 when I don't. It baffles me how you manage to have sort of an intellectual humor but seem so unintelligent while performing and filming your videos. What's the secret? How do you do it? Well, thank you. I think I like the Norm Macdonald method of how he always seems like the dumbest guy in the room, but he's the smartest. And that would never apply to me. I would never be the smartest guy in any room unless I was in a room full of babies, because babies are dumb and I could beat them all up. I think it appeals to a wider audience when you seem a little dumber in your videos, if that makes sense. So I'm not tricking you into. I think my audience is a lot more older than the majority of YouTube audiences with people of my humor. My main age range on YouTube of subscribers is like from 25 to 34, which is not what I would have predicted at all. But yeah, hey, you're all old and adults and very intelligent. So thank you for sticking. Do you think you could beat Cody Ko in a fist fight? Yes, because I am taller and I could hold out my arms. I have like a 6'8" wingspan, so I could hold his head and he wouldn't be able to reach me. That's not very nice. He's probably pretty strong, could probably beat me up, but no, I would win. How often do you go back and watch your old videos? Relatively frequently, actually. I like to look at where I can improve on old videos and maybe look at like some things that I may have not have seen in the editing process, because just sometimes you become blind to those little things when you've watched the video 1,000 times. So I like to go back and watch things again and maybe make a few notes and see where I can improve for the next time. What's it like being a newfie? It's not good right now. Est-ce que tu parles français? Non. Mais j'apprends. J'ai de très belles jambes. How often do you do drugs? I've actually never done drugs ever. I've never puffed on that ganja, nor have I had a sip of that whiskey and rye, except for diazepam when I had to get my wisdom teeth out, which is an anxiety-reducing drug. It was just to calm my nerves as I went in there, and I was a little bit stonified, but that was really it. Why have I never done drugs or had a drink of alcohol? I don't know. It was never something that interested me in high school. I did feel the pressure to, because, you're in high school. Obviously, you're going to feel the pressure to drink when your friends are around you drinking and they say, hey, why aren't you drinking? You should drink. Why are you drinking, weirdo idiot? But I didn't succumb to the pressure, and I still haven't, because there's no pressure anymore. Obviously, I'm 23, I'm an adult. I can make that decision. I don't know, it was never something that interested me, and it just kind of stuck as something that I didn't want to get into. Yeah, my life has been fine without it. I enjoy going to parties every now and then. It's not something I really like a whole lot. I don't enjoy like big fat parties, but I like social gatherings. And yeah, I have fun without alcohol. I'm not someone that says, oh, I'm high on life. I'm just, I sometimes just prefer a night at home chilling, or just at someone else's home in a social gathering, chilling, but just not under the influence of any drugs or alcohol. And that's fine. And I have no issues with people who do. Okay. What color would you say your hair is? It is a filthy, gross shit blonde. Dude, my fingers are freezing. Are you a hockey fan? Yes. If so, what is your favorite team? The Tampa Bay Lightning. It's funny because they just won the Stanley Cup, but I'm not a bandwagoner. I promise. They've been my favorite team since I was a very young kid, because my cousin had a poster of Vincent Lecavalier on her wall, and I looked at him and was like, wow, he's my favorite now, and he was when I was a young buck. And so then I just loved the Tampa Bay Lightning from then on, and they just won the Stanley Cup, and so I have had an erection for 2 weeks. Can you summarize your channel in exactly 5 words? Super, super hot guy videos. I'm so cold, dude. Where does Colbo come from? Colbo is actually not my last name. My last name is Colburn, C-O-L-B-O-U-R-N-E. I dropped the end of Colburn to make Colbo because Colburn is not very memorable. Nor is it very interesting. I wish I had a more interesting last name. I'm fine with the last name. I don't hide it, but I just think Colbo was more memorable and shorter. And I have the 2 spaced together because I thought Matt space Colbo also looked really stupid. And I think it looks better as one name, as one like thing with no spaces. So that's why. I think that's it. We got a lot of questions. I'm really sorry if I didn't get to your question. I will do more of these in the future. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Probably won't be outside and freezing when I do it next time, but I really enjoyed it. 100,000 is a lot of people, and it's the amount of people that I said that I would continue doing this if I were to reach that in 2 years' time, and we got here in 9 months. I'm just super excited for the future and to see where this will go, and I hope that it goes great places. And I thank you very much. If you're here just lurking, please hit the subscribe button. It helps a damn lot, and I really appreciate it. It helps the channel very much. You can check me out on Instagram. I encourage you to do that. Check me out on Twitter at Matt Colbo. And thank you again to The Ridge for sponsoring this video. Thank you very much. Take care. Comb your hair, and I'll see you soon.
This is so hard on my legs.